All right, so I was speaking with a technologist yesterday in the ophthalmology space, and he was telling me about a custom protocol that he had developed. And he asked me a question about deploying it to Azure, and it highlighted that a gap in my knowledge. I hadn't worked with Azure in a while, and so I thought today I would do a little bit of development and kind of refresh myself a little bit. So decided to build a Sauron Vision protocol, a fake protocol, um, and deploy it to Azure and learn along the way. So this video is me kind of walking through that. And I guess I'll do a quick demo of the app itself really quickly. There's a server component and there's a client component. This is the client component. Basically, you've got a set of commands. This is where you can view the communications back and forth, and this is, of course, the server side. Using GitHub Actions, so wanted to make sure that I could do a full CI/CD pipeline. Essentially, you push to GitHub, action gets fired, it starts talking to Azure, builds out the Docker images, pushes to AKS, the Kubernetes service on Azure, all that stuff. Probably get into that in a little more detail. The client side, I basically built a console, a simple text-based console to start. What you saw a second ago was an Avalonia GUI. I started with Maui and had some issues with my Apple M1 chip, so ended up going with Avalonia. Got some docs, some memory bank for the AI. And then here's the server side. So got the Kubernetes config and then the .NET 9.0 code in here, all the services and whatnot. And then some the shared protocols. So the shared between both client and server is some of the definition around the commands and the responses, things like this. And so the way it works, not too terribly unexpected. You can go create a command. Oh, first you have to connect. So you can connect. This is just a hard-coded IP at this point. It tells you that you're connected. You can send a command. It'll tell you, oh, you have to name a location. So I can say Chicago, let's say. Or I could spell it correctly. And I'll get a 200 back, and the Eye of Sauron turns to Chicago. I can send this command, do a ring command. I can say I'd like to command to folks to march, and they will march forth. And of course, I can disconnect and reconnect. And if I put in a fake command, it gives me a nice 400 message. The runes are unreadable. So why don't I go ahead, so this is obviously running locally, kind of thought I might change this message, the runes are unreadable. Maybe I'll just put go away. So go ahead and save that code. Change the response. I'm going to commit this and then push this up to GitHub, which in theory will fire an action over here. So here's our change of response, and it looks like we are in progress. And so it's doing the build at this point. So what's basically doing is it's building the app, it's creating a Docker container with that app, and then it's saving it to the Azure Container Service, ACS. And so I just created a free Azure account this morning, and you can see I've basically got the Azure Kubernetes service running. I've got 2 servers, so a 2-node cluster happening right now. And so this is still building. at this point, working its way through. Hopefully it builds completely. Let's see, got a few warnings, probably some syntax or something. And by the way, I should say, I would not necessarily recommend this structure. This is just me learning about what exists out there and what Azure does with CI/CD these days. It was pretty quick and easy to get going. All right, so we've built the app. We've created the Docker container. We've put it out to ACS. So now we're logging back into Azure, and we're gonna use Kubernetes, and we're gonna deploy this this container out to AKS. And right now it looks like it's verifying the deployment. And yeah, post login to Azure. So that says that is a complete job. So that's given us the nice green check. So we go back over here. This is the same runtime. I haven't restarted it. I'm going to reconnect. And in theory, let's make sure that this works. Let's send it to, well, send it to Naples. And it says the eye of Sauron turns to Naples. Let's then give it a junk command, and we get to go away. So we've made a change in the code, pushed it to GitHub. GitHub pushed it to Azure, and now our protocol is working. So that was fun. Learned a good bit about the current state of Azure, and I appreciate the gentleman who I was speaking with yesterday poking on me a bit and digging in on my Azure knowledge.